They have guards. They have armed guards in the schools. It's well known. And these people are generally evil plus cowardly. And they're not going to come in a place where they're going to be engaged immediately and killed. And I think it would be massively helpful for our schools to consider it and not have just an out-of-hand challenge by teachers saying, I'm not going to carry a gun. Well, if you say that, I don't want you to carry a gun. I'm not going to ask you to carry a gun. I want the coach that threw his body in front of students and took all the bullets. I want that type of guy who would probably say, if you would give me the ability to take the training, and it'll be extensive training, based like SWAT team training, but you give me the ability to take that training and allow me to carry concealed in the classroom or in the gym, I'm going to do it, because I'm not going to lay there throwing my body in front of somebody with nothing to respond with. And I think we have to get serious about that. There are janitors that would be capable of taking a training. There are counselors. There are
principals.
There are retired police officers or veterans.
For that reason, I reject the notion of this extended SWAT-like training. Basically, CPL training, just like anybody else, any other occupation. CPL training, you know how to take care of a gun, not to shoot it inadvertently and point it in front of you and kill the guy that's attacking you.
I know we can say that, but I think to make sure that people feel comfortable about it, I'm not opposed to saying you have to have a more significant training than simply the CPL training I've got, or the combat shooting courses that a person
then that's going to restrict people from wanting to do it. And if you look at the people that already carry in schools in this country or have access to guns in schools in this country, and you see that no gun is inadvertently going off, except unless that DEA agent who shot off a Glock demonstrating to a classroom about 10 years ago, idiot. But, as far as teachers, no teachers have inadvertently discharged where they're allowed.
We can get into debate about what the course they'd have to take, but bottom line is, I think that ought to be a consideration that we have armed personnel in the schools. Now, then we can talk about several other things. Mental health issues.
Yep.
And we passed last year the Century 21 Cures, which had a very strong and large mental health component in it. We haven't seen the full impact of that yet, but in the end, we're going to have to use it. We can't just have it. We've got to use it as well. And so a social worker who interviews a guy like this Nick Cruz, they have to respond in an appropriate way. So mental health issues. And then we passed last year in the House overwhelmingly a Nix Fix bill. Now, it had reciprocity attached to it, and I want to see that take place. We need to ask the Senate, why haven't they taken up that bill, which fixes a lot of the loopholes in our instant background check system that we had found? We're not against making sure the right people have guns when they're purchasing handguns, but when a law is fixed and it is not taken up by the Congress, complete Congress, the Senate in this case, and then we wring our hands and say we've got to take assault weapons out of people's hands. We're not even willing to define what an assault weapon is, and we're misleading people who think that that gun that he used was any different in the way you fire one shot at a time, like my hunting rifles. We've got a problem. So
they're after your hunting rifle.
Yeah. So the other thing that's there, Tim, is the fact, for me, and that's what, I know I'm conspiracy Gary. I'm mystified that 45 now, or it might have been 49 now, instances of local law down there in Florida having talked with this kid. Mm-hmm. And he's still got his guns, right? There's actually a video. One of the neighbors took a video of this kid brandishing outside his home with a gun.
Yeah.
And at that point, when the cops showed up, they should have said, you just broke the law, I'm taking your guns. Right there, I'm taking your guns. You just broke the law. We'll talk about getting them back whenever, but I'm taking them now because you brandished and broke the law. Guns gone.
Which is what Trump was talking about, due process later.
Well, whatever it takes. Yeah. In that instance, this kid had more than enough. You had two separate phone calls to the FBI, and still nothing got done. And then to make all of that worse, Sheriff Israel down there has the on-duty guy, obviously not capable for whatever reason, and then the 4 other deputies show up and don't go in because they don't have body cameras?
Yeah, no. It was a massive failure of the system that should have prevented this taking place, and it didn't require taking away a gun. It required stopping this crazy guy from doing what he was planning to do, and he told us he was going to do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where we really have to look at it. Now, when you hear all of this stuff going on about attacking the NRA has never done anything to encourage people to use their weapons illegally. They have done everything in their power to train people in the correct use of guns and to use it in a way that was producing freedom but also security for citizens. And so when we see this type of climbing on and Delta Airlines and other entities, Dick's Sporting Goods, Walmart, and others now taking a stand because they're too weak to tell their customers, wait a second, we're selling legal products and we're encouraging people to use it legally, and we're following all the rules and all the laws. If you want to change that, then go to your Congress and change the laws. But until then, we're selling legal things to legal-minded people. But we have become a bunch of sheep in society right now that you can be a minority of the population, and if you scream loud enough and try to make a boogeyman out of a law-abiding entity, you're going to win because the media will go with you.
Yeah,
we have to stand up logically. We have to stand up with great firmness, grace, but nonetheless great firmness, and tell the people, thus far, no farther. Don't make criminals out of law-abiding citizens or organizations that stand for the best in America.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, Tim, as we run down, the last thing I want to hit up with you is Russian collusion. Now, I'm seeing a lot more evidence of collusion going on between the DNC and the Hillary Clinton and the Obama campaign, the Obama administration, than I am anything out of the Trump administration or campaign. Has been any movement on special prosecutor or Mueller moving his? To me, Mueller should be if he's supposed to be looking with an open at everything, why isn't he looking at Hillary and Obama and Uranium One? Because the evidence is mounting as we speak, and yet, again,
it's overwhelming.
Your favorite guy, Jeff Sessions, is doing nothing.
Yeah, well, Jeff Sessions. Yeah, that's a totally non-understandable. I don't get it. However, Mueller so far, for whether he's planning it or not, is ending up helping our scenario.
Oddly enough, yes.
And I think that again is why Trump has not called for him to be stopped.
Yeah,
I think he knows what the truth is, and he knows what's going to come out. And Devin Nunes, chair of the Intelligence Committee, has been a total asset to making sure things are moving along right. And now we're finding more out, as you say, about the Democrats' collusion as opposed to the Republicans' collusion.
Yeah. Well, Tim, give me your website because I know it's campaign year.
It's our campaign. I stay so much away from that. It's WalbergForCongress.com.
Okay.
WalbergForCongress.com. And our official website, which is for official purposes, which can be very helpful too, is walberg.house.gov.
Awesome. All right, Tim, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again next month, if not before.
Okay, have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.